Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I and I'd like to welcome you into the fam. So all my beautiful babies of the zodiac, today I have your July 2022 love predictions prepared for you. And in order to help you figure out exactly what's coming towards your love life during the month of July, I have prepared 4 groups for you to choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. And don't worry, my lovely unicorn family, I still have your big July horoscopes coming for you, where each and every sign of the zodiac receives its very own personalized July horoscope. So make sure that you're subscribed to my channel in order to never miss out on another monthly love prediction or a monthly general horoscope. And before I introduce you to the 4 groups that I have prepared for you today, I just need to say that all the rumors are true. There is a new deck that's launching very soon. I've been working on this deck for over 2 years, you guys, and you guys are the first ones to hear that it is confirmed. So watch the space, because in one of my upcoming videos, I am going to be celebrating the launch and unveiling to you exactly what this deck looks like. But I can already assure you that you are going to love this deck, and it is the perfect deck for beginners, even if you have no knowledge of tarot. But anyways, you guys, that's all I'll say for now, so watch the space as this will be launching very soon. But now let's come back to the 4 groups that I have prepared for you today. So group number 1 corresponds to the Runes for Modern Life deck, as well as the Celestine crystal. Group number 2 corresponds to the Isis Oracle deck, as well as the Carnelian crystal. Group number 3 corresponds to the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle deck, as well as the Amber. And group number 4 corresponds to the Affirmations Tarot deck, as well as the Amethyst. But the timestamps to all 4 of these groups can be found down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the top of the comment section for quick and easy access from your mobile devices. So I will now provide you with a little moment of privacy so you can meditate on the 4 groups. Feel free to pause the video right here if you need a moment to make your selection. If you absolutely cannot make up your mind as to which group you'd like to go with, I recommend that you pick whichever deck and crystal combination that you feel represents the love life that you desire. So if you, for example, really love the energy and the vibes that you're getting from the Affirmations Tarot and the Amethyst, and you find the mysterious and divine color purple to be representative of how you'd like your love life to be, then select the 4th group. And if, for example, you feel really drawn to the Carnelian crystal because you feel like it represents more passion, and you feel as though the Isis Oracle deck brings you a very grounding energy from its color, for example, then pick the 2nd group. So this is a very subjective process. Take your time, and I'll be right back with you to guide you into your July love predictions. So by now, you've hopefully been able to select one of these 4 groups in order to help guide you through your love life and all of the developments during the month of July. I will be starting off your tarot readings with the 1st group, which corresponds to the Runes for Modern Life Oracle deck, as well as the Celestine crystal. So if this is the group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to all of my other lovely groups and crystals, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your July 2022 love predictions. Vanessa and I here. I'm so excited to guide you through what's happening within your love life, whether you're single, in a relationship, or a situationship. Know that this reading is going to bring value to you. So you chose the Runes for Modern Life deck, as well as the Celestine crystal. Let's first do a close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the beautiful Celestine, and this is a really calming stone that brings you reassurance as well as grounding type of energy, and it's great for fire signs who need to kind of like take a step back, but it's also great for any other signs of the zodiac who feel like they can benefit from a really grounding stone. So let's get into it. The Runes for Modern Life Oracle deck is actually one of my favorite decks, so let's get into it. First up, we've got Tiwaz. So Tiwaz represents a sense of leadership and authority, but also justice and honor. I want you to know here that when it comes to your love life during the month of July in 2022, you're going up. That's the only direction that you're going in. There's going to be growth. There's going to be this leadership of you kind of saying where the relationship goes and not really allowing someone else to tell you what to do or how to feel. So I do see here that there is the sense of protecting your honor as well. So not giving anyone the time of day that makes you feel as though you aren't being true to yourself or like you're lowering your standards. Furthermore, I do also see here within Tiwaz that you're not only taking on a leadership role when it comes to love, but you're also making more decisions more comfortably. So maybe in the past you always let people decide for you, right? Whether you're single or in a relationship right now, if you've always let people pick you and you kind of sat back and never did the picking, or you let people suggest where to go out, what to do with one another, when the relationship is official and when not, I want you to know here that for July, that dynamic is steadily changing and you're steadily moving towards a version of yourself that is more authoritative, that knows exactly what they want, and that isn't afraid to voice their opinion. Next up, we've got Hagalaz. So within Hagalaz, I see an interesting development here of change. Hagalaz actually stands for a big hailstorm. And do know here that in July, your prediction cites that whatever wasn't built to last is definitely going to succumb to this hailstorm. It's definitely not going to make it through July. Now, group number 1. If you appreciate honest tarot readings, if you appreciate honesty when it comes to oracle deck predictions, I want you to know here that this is the perfect space for you. But if you like readers who just tell you what you want to hear, then this is, of course, already getting uncomfortable. But discomfort doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? That often shows us that there's something there that we know is either true or that we still need to work on when we're getting uncomfortable, because otherwise there would just be the sense of indifference. So remind yourself here that relationships that are meant to last will continue to be strong, as you will be able to take the lead and grow together even through stormy, difficult times. However, if there are relationships here, romantic ones, that were not built to last, if there's a situationship with someone who is flaky or someone who isn't really in the relationship for the long run, then it's most likely not going to make it past July, and there is this breakup situation that is most likely going to take place. But this means that by the end of July, you will be left with people who really care about you, which is worth so much more, at least in my opinion, than being around a lot of people who aren't really there for you when you're actually going through difficult times. Next up, we've got Algies. Oh, I love Algies. Algies stands for the elk. Algies is all about understanding that there is a shield and a type of self-defense that you can put up here to protect your relationship. And I see here that if you are in a relationship, group number 1, this is a time of being with one another, and in July kind of shutting out other people's noise and other people's opinions. So making sure that you're protecting the relationship from anyone who is bringing this stormy energy, right? Who's bringing this energy of destruction, and also reminding one another that if there's one thing that you've got, that's each other, that's the relationship, and that can be a little protective cocoon in itself and can strengthen the bond between the two of you. So ensuring that you don't take existing relationships for granted is what I see as so important here during the month of July, and also fending off anyone who likes to gossip or anyone who is kind of always here for drama. If you are in a relationship and you find that your significant other is kind of making you feel like they want to leave the tent and the safety in here, so to say, and meet this little snake. Let them, group number one. It is important that you don't feel as though you're holding someone back or forcing someone to be in the relationship, or like you constantly need to control what your partner is doing, because that not only shows a lack of trust, but it also shows here that their commitment maybe isn't fully there. And you can only force someone to be faithful or try to like make sure that someone is faithful for so long if they want to step out of the relationship or they want to remove themselves from the relationship. They will end up doing that. It's only a matter of time. So don't even waste your precious time and energy on that. Don't even put yourself in that type of compromised position. You both need to want to stay in the connection in order for it to work. Next up, we've got AWAS. Let's zoom in on AWAS right here. So within AWAS, I can see here that there is this partnership that's moving you forth that is filled with self-reflection. So whether you are single or in a committed relationship, know here that for July 2022, you're doing a lot of looking in the mirror, a lot of figuring out how you can make the relationship better and how you can be a stronger person, a stronger partner. And this goes together beautifully with Tiwaz and this feeling of wanting to do better and this feeling of wanting to do right by yourself if you are single, or right by the relationship if you are in a committed relationship, group number one. And this shows us a lot of inner strength coming from your side, but I also see some changes physically that are coming towards you. Okay, so think, for example, dyeing your hair, changing your physical appearance in any way, different outfits, just overall trying something new and reinventing yourself during the month of July, which will have an effect on your love life. It'll actually probably spice it up a lot more. Next up, we've got the Page of Diamonds. Now, in the Page of Diamonds, I can see someone who knows exactly what they want, especially when it comes to things in the earthly realm, so finances, how much time you want to have for your love life. But I also see here within the Page of Diamonds that we have this feeling of confidence, that you're in a very courageous place. And the Page of Diamonds shows me that you're not afraid to try something new and maybe even invest a little bit of time, energy, effort, and money into a certain area of the relationship that could really use a bit more attention. Whereas the Knight of Crystals shows me here that that has to do with passion. So if you are single right now, group number one, I want you to know here in the Page of Diamonds and the Knight of Crystals that the month of July shows that you are meant to spend some money on yourself, on things that you really love that make you feel good about who you are as a person, and that keep you away from kind of putting up with people who don't value you to the extent that they really should. And if you are in a committed relationship, know in the Page of Diamonds and the Knight of Crystals that spending money on things where you can spend time together with one another is important here for the month of July, especially if you don't go on dates with one another very often, or the romance has fallen a little flat. Know here in the Page of Diamonds and Knight of Crystals that this is a great time for you to purchase maybe some fun lingerie, some fun toys, some fun things that you can play with one another. Take one another out for dates. Spend that time and money and that coin on one another in order to be in a space where the romance can thrive again, right? Where you feel totally in love and infatuated. And it may take a little bit of time to get back to that spot, but again, it's one step at a time. It's not something that will change from one day to the next. It's something you need to work on and that you need to invest in. I see here within the Lovers that you're meant to be in a relationship that is not only respectful, but that does have more than just friendship. So know here within the Lovers, group number one, that if you are in a committed relationship right now, you are meant to stay in that relationship and it's meant to continue to grow. And you're just learning from situations in which maybe romantically things have fallen flat or things are in a place where you could make some improvements. And if you're single, know that in July of 2022, you are most likely going to find it in you to detach yourself from anyone who doesn't give you that love that you've always dreamt of. As we've spoken within Hagalaz, that there will be a hailstorm that breaks anything apart that isn't meant to remain, that was never built upon a solid foundation. And do know here within the lovers that a great sign of you actually accomplishing what you're supposed to romantically is that whether you're single or in a relationship, you feel content and happy knowing that you're not compromising your self-worth and your values for anybody. So let's see what we've got next for you, group number 1. We've got the 4 of Diamonds. Now, the 4 of Diamonds shows me here that spending some money on your relationship or on romance is definitely important, but don't go overboard, as I see here within the 4 of Diamonds, that may actually stress you out more than it does any good. So try not to go in too much with the spending. Try to spend within your means. And I also do see here within the 4 of Diamonds that you may have 2 different ideas of what financial intelligence and security looks like. So that is an area of a little bit of friction within your romantic relationships, group number 1. And that is an area where you can benefit from getting on the same page, especially during the month of July, as I see in the 4 of Diamonds that you're maybe kind of building up to some big financial decisions, and you want to make sure that you're on the same page before you make those decisions, right? Next up, we've got the karmic relationships. So I do see here that there is some soul growth that's happening, and this is where it's important for you to take a good look at your surroundings and also romantic partners or potential romantic partners, group number 1. If you feel as though your person, if you're in a relationship or situationship, is uncomfortable with your soul growth and that causes conflict, then maybe you need to ask yourself whether this is the right relationship for you to be in at this point in time, because you shouldn't feel like you need to have fully grown and perfected who you are by the time you enter a relationship. A relationship is here to continue to support your growth and your change. If you are single and you find here within the soul growth that's happening and the polarities in yourself and your life that it's hard to really put your finger on the type of person that you'd like to be with romantically, maybe take a step back from dating during the month of July, group number 1, because when there's a lot of change going on within you, it can be hard to pick someone who is suitable to be with romantically speaking, and then it's sometimes best for you to just draw yourself out of the love or romance game and focus on yourself so you don't end up with a person who is toxic for you, or a person who actually ends up stunting your growth or getting in the way of your growth because you hastily got in a relationship with someone who actually isn't compatible with you. Next up, we've got the Seas of Mintaka. So within the Seas of Mintaka, I want you to understand here that you're seeing some potential in another person during the month of July. So especially if romance has been rocky, I can see that you're bringing some unconsciousness to light, and you're understanding that seeing potential in another person is something that can really help you get through difficult times, especially if you are feeling like you saw potential in this person and they let you down. Remind yourself, if you are in a committed relationship, of all of the ways in which this person has proven themselves, okay? If you've seen potential in them in the past and they have proven that they can live up to that potential, give them some more benefit of the doubt and try to extend your patience. However, group number 1, I am also a strong advocate for not falling in love with potential or what could be. If someone has never shown you what their potential could be, if someone has never been able to live up to their potential that you maybe even made out in your head, maybe they never even told you that they could be in a committed relationship or a marriage or start a family or be in a long-term bond with you. Maybe they never even said that, but that is the type of potential you saw in them and their relationship, and you kind of went with it, and now you've created the story of what you could be. but it's never actually gone that way or happened, or they've never actually shown any signs of being this person who you think they have the potential to be, then group number one, it's important for you to be honest with yourself about the fact that you're maybe expecting something that's not realistic out of this particular connection, and that maybe you need to be with someone who wants the same thing to come to fruition as you want, group number one, because otherwise you will constantly be in love with potential and you'll consistently get disappointed by this person because they're never able to live up to this potential, and maybe they don't even know that this is the potential that you see in them. Do you know what I'm getting at, group number one? So make sure that it's crystal clear what you expect of a romantic relationship, where you see potential for growth in the relationship, and that you also expect this potential to come to fruition in such and such ways by such and such date, so you don't just have it be open end and then basically the person can always string you along based on your love for what potentially could be. Next up, we've got the star family. So in the star family, I can see here that you're a part of a team of souls, that it's okay for you to call in support and talk to other people about what you're going through, especially if you know someone who's gone through the same thing, who's maybe been with a partner for a long period of time and they married them based on potential or stayed with them based on what they could be, and that was a successful story or maybe even an unsuccessful story. Any bit of information you can get from someone who's come before you, whose opinion and life experience that you're interested in and value, that can really help you figure out whether you're moving in the right direction, romantically speaking, during the month of July. And remind yourself here that you're not the first one to go through these experiences in love. Other people have been through it too, and that you can bond and connect with people who have similar stories in love and exchange what you're going through in order to help you make the right choices. Next up, we've got surrender to the sweetness. So there is some Venus energy here, some pleasure, joy, and this feeling of knowing that you can just surrender to it is so good, so important. Try to let go more, romantically speaking and sexually speaking, group number one. I see here within the Earth school that you're meant to just experience this type of romance without overthinking it, without wondering whether your body looks the way you think it should look, whether your person thinks that you're super attractive or not. You're meant to just enjoy pleasure and remind yourself to surrender to the sweetness every now and then, especially if someone wants to be intimate with you. Just be in the moment and try not to overthink it. Try not to overthink image. Next up, we've got the courageous peony. So I see here that there is a very multifaceted, unique nature of your love life, and you're allowed to let it be seen during the month of July. So going out, having a little bit of PDA take place, if you know what I mean, and also just standing by your person if you are in a relationship is something that I can see that really strengthens the bond and the relationship. Also understanding here that every relationship is so multifaceted and unique, and that it's okay to have certain areas of disagreement. And also your path, if you're single, well, whether you're single or in a relationship or situationship, is so unique and multifaceted to you. Just think about it. Nobody in this world has grown up exactly how you grew up, with the parents you had, maybe the siblings, the surroundings, the places you've lived, and the upbringing you've had. And then combining that with another person who is just as unique as you are and trying to be in a romantic relationship. There's so many different layers and facets, experiences that add to the relationship and make the relationship really fun, but also experiences that can prove to bring challenges into the relationship. If you come from a background of trauma or difficulty, then do know here that sometimes you just need to be a little patient as two people are trying to find to each other, and it won't always be perfect. There can sometimes be friction in relationships, but in order for there to be longevity as we have within the chrysanthemum, you have to ensure that you give things a little bit of time and that you let yourself be seen in a vulnerable state, that you allow for a partner or a romantic interest to know that this is what you've gone through and this is how it affects you, and you may need a little bit more time in these areas of the relationship to find yourself, to find a good flow, and to know exactly how to communicate with another person. I see here that when it comes to your love life during the month of July, ultimately this is a month about your happiness. The Mayoram shows us here that this is the main focal point, which is really healthy. You're not focused on running after someone who brings you nothing but headache or nothing but troubles. You're not focused on trying to make a relationship work that is based upon mere potential, but the person has never actually proven themselves. No, you're just focused and centered around your happiness, and that is not egotistical. I can see here within the carrot that that's actually showing you very clearly that this is how healthy, happy relationships are made, by each individual being happy in themselves and not seeking happiness externally or seeking happiness exclusively from one another. When you rely on your partner to bring you all of your happiness and you don't kind of foster it from within, that puts a lot of pressure on the relationship and on your romantic partners. And it's definitely something that I don't think anyone can fully live up to. So it's so important that you detach your individual happiness from one another, so you still have that even if you're going through something in the relationship and you're not depending on someone else to feel happy, because the healthiest relationships aren't built on codependency. They are built on each individual wanting to be with one another and also being able to be happy separately. Next up, we've got eliminating distractions. Stop shining light on things you are not. How can you reclaim your power? We briefly spoke about this when it came to how you're feeling romantically speaking, and just letting yourself be in the moment and this Venus energy of enjoying intimate times where you're maybe both in the nude, if you know what I mean, group number one, and understanding here that there's no point in shining light on things you are not, shining light on a body that isn't yours, shining light on types of features that aren't yours, because we all know how social media likes to make us all feel like we are so imperfect. There's no point in that. Eliminate those distractions and ask yourself how you can reclaim your power and come to a place where you are ready to embrace your body and how you look like, no matter what that represents or whether that is currently a trendy way to be or not. Next up, we've got the collective field is impacting you, unseen forces in action, and how you can relinquish control of the situation that feels blocked. So one of the main things that I see here for the end of your reading, group number one, is to ask yourself how you can remove any types of reoccurring thoughts about your body and whether it's good enough, whether you feel as though it's attractive or not, and whether you are meant to be in a relationship with someone who fully loves you for who you are and finds you super attractive. So not feeling suspicious when someone tells you that you're attractive or feeling like it can't be true, but fully being able to take on board those compliments and take them in, to just say like, yeah, you know what, thank you. And I do also see here within eliminating these distractions, we've got the number 19, and within these unseen forces in action, we've got the number 38, and 19 is exactly that halfway point to 38. And I want to remind you here, group number one, that it seems as though what you must do in order to even get to a place where these forces, where social media, different images of bodies and ways that you should look can impact you, how you can get away from the collective field that is impacting you and these unseen forces in action, like the media, for example, impacting how you view your body, is to eliminate it. I see that here within the number 19, and to stop shining a light on things you are not. If you feel worse about yourself and your looks and who you are as a person and your accomplishments every single time you scroll through TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or even YouTube, then try to eliminate those distractions for a little bit. I know that seems really counterintuitive, group number one, as I am a YouTuber. Shouldn't I be telling you to be on YouTube? Well, I feel as though you should do what's best for you mentally and what allows you to be in strong, healthy relationships for the long run. So group number 1, do what helps the longevity of your love life, and bear in mind here that you stepping up to the plate and being a leader shows a lot of courage as well as growth coming from you, romantically speaking, during the month of July. So group number 1, we're at the end of your prediction. Leave a carrot emoji below in the comment section if you've made it to this point of the reading and you enjoyed it. And of course, don't forget to check out my How to Become a Great Tarot Reader course. It is linked below as well. I already have so many students and I cannot wait to show you guys the new space and the new videos that I've been working on within that course, and I can't wait to reveal to you the new deck that's dropping very soon. So group number 1, thank you for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading. You chose the Isis Oracle deck in connectivity to the Carnelian crystal. Let's do a quick close-up of the stone of your choice. This is the gorgeous Carnelian. It is a stone that brings forth energy, passion, ambition, as well as drive. This is great for anyone who's been feeling low about their love life or feels as though they just need a little bit more passion in their relationship or situationship. But now let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what's coming towards your love life during the month of July. I'm so excited for this group number 2. I can't wait to uncover these messages from the universe for you. So let's move into it, shall we? First and foremost, we've got stay true and be in your power, group number 2. Don't feel as though you need to change who you are. If you're a really ambitious person, don't feel as though you're too intimidating to find an amazing partner. Don't feel as though if you're rather shy, like that's a flaw, or like it will be hard for you to find someone who respects you, doesn't undermine you, and still finds you interesting and fun. Stay true to who you are and know that that in itself can be a superpower. So your ambition is a superpower in a relationship with someone who wants you to thrive and who wants to see you grow. You being shy can feel very mysterious as well as seductive to the type of person who appreciates that type of characteristic in you, group number 2. So it's just all about being in the right relationship with the right person in order for everything that makes you you to become a superpower and to become part of the glue that makes your relationship last and hold together. Next up, we've got the scales of balance. So do know here, group number 2, that balance is really important when it comes to your love life during the month of July. I see that some things may have fallen out of balance, and this has to do with you being in your power. So not being fully embodied in your superpowers, not feeling as though you can embrace all of the parts of yourself that make you you. That is what tips the scale to one side and kind of knocks things out of balance. So remind yourself here that, of course, a relationship is about compromising and also being in an open-minded state, but you also have to be able to be yourself, whether you are in a committed relationship, whether you are single, or whether you are in a situationship. Next up, we've got the talismans of we actually have 2 cards for you, group number 2. So on one hand, we've got the talismans of potency, charging sacred objects of power, and then we also have the temple of black obsidian to the left, which is all about the dark healing chamber. So let's first talk about the talismans of potency, shall we? I can see here that charging sacred objects of power is what can help you for your love life during the month of July. So for example, charging your crystals that you own with the energy and potency of love, making sure that anything that you wear, for example, has been blessed, and that you use sage within your room, your closet, and ensure that you rid anything that's on your body of bad energy, and just creating little rituals with day-to-day things, making them a lot more powerful than they are without the rituals. I personally love to keep a little piece of carnelian or a carnelian palm stone either in my pocket if it's like a small piece such as this one over here, group number 2, and if it's a palm stone size piece like I've got on bowlife.com, I like to keep it on my bedside bedside table and just charge it with good intentions and manifestations of bringing out my personal power, of bringing out my ambition, and not feeling apologetic about it, not feeling like I have to make myself smaller. Next up, we've got the Temple of Black Obsidian, which shows me here that the month of July is actually kind of a month of healing. It is a month of being in the dark healing chamber for you, of confronting some of the patterns that you have within your love life that haven't helped you, and that, quite frankly speaking, may have been passed down from parents, especially if you come from a home where there was divorce or just overall a marriage that wasn't exactly happy, that may have been toxic. I see here within the Temple of Black Obsidian, which is a very cleansing stone, that July is going to bring up those emotions, and you're going to be called to try to not repeat those patterns. So if you're single, of course, ensuring that you've got these scales of balance figured out, that you're not with someone who makes you feel insignificant or makes you feel like you cannot be yourself or be as driven as you want to be. And if you are in a situationship or a relationship, looking at the patterns within that relationship, comparing them to what you've maybe experienced or what you've been through growing up, and ensuring that you're only including the patterns that you feel are healthy, to not only create a healthy environment for yourself, but also your partner and potentially animals or children that may be around you. Next up, we've got the blue flame. And did you know, group number 2, that the blue part of flames is actually the hottest part? This blue flame is all about activation and integrating lessons. So I can see that July holds a very important significance within the year 2022 for you, group number 2, when it comes to love, because it's about integrating lessons. It's about integrating the fact that you're growing as a person. You're constantly kind of awakening and transpiring from one version of yourself to another, and that's okay. You don't have to feel as though that makes you someone who is a hypocrite. We all have different versions of of ourselves, and it's okay to embrace those versions, or to sometimes go through a period of really being into projects that have to do with crafts. Maybe for some time you're really into reading, exercising, working out. Maybe sometimes you're into crystals, sometimes you're into oracle cards. The blue flame is all about integrating all of that into your love life. And if you feel uncomfortable sharing with a partner, and this is whether you're single and dating, whether you are in a situationship or you are in a relationship, if you feel uncomfortable activating all of these different parts of yourself and reigniting the passions that you have for different areas of who you are, if it makes you uncomfortable to integrate yourself fully into the relationship, no matter what that may look like or what phase that you're going through, it is important that you take a close look at the health of the relationship, and whether you are with someone who's allowing you to be who you need to be, or whether you are in a relationship that is stifling you. But maybe you also have to open up more, right? I see here within the star family that you are part of a team of souls, and that sometimes you just need to ask for support. So if you are in a committed relationship, maybe be a little bit more open about the support that you need before you write off the relationship as one that is toxic, or as one that isn't meant to last or may come to an end. Furthermore, if you are in a situationship, this is a perfect time for you to figure out how someone reacts when you call them up for some help, when you want to have a deep conversation with them. If they are uninterested or seem like they don't care, then you know that this situationship should not go past being a situationship, and maybe even sharing sacred moments and energy with this person isn't really a healthy look for you, group number 2. If you are single and you feel as though you're not so close to a potential romantic partner that you can talk to them about what you're going through, then make sure that you call in support from friends and family. If it's too soon for you to open up to another person who you're interested in romantically, don't do it, and keep your private life private until you feel safe enough to do so, or until you feel enough time has passed for you to open up and see how they react. In perspective, I can see that, remind yourself, in the grand scheme, not many things that we stress about actually matter. Just think about it. Even planet Earth, this is representative of planet Earth in the universe, and we're like zooming out, and we're finding here that actually even planet Earth, which means all of us, we're not that significant. We're just a tiny speck in this huge multiverse and universe. It is so crazy to think how little problems can be blown out of proportion and seem really, really big depending on what perspective that you look at things from. Next up, we've got weight. So don't make any big decisions, romantically speaking, during the month of July, group number 2. It's not yet time for you to do that. Things are being woven, things are being put into place. So before you decide, for example, to split up with someone or to commit to someone, take July just to see how things change and fluctuate and what happens for you during that month, as it is definitely not a month of you making big decisions in your love life. Some important celestial events to note are July 13th, we've got a full moon, supermoon, and on July 28th, we've got a new moon taking place, and these may feel like very pivotal moments and moments where you feel like you finally have an answer and you want to make a decision, but keep in mind within your reading, group number 2, that your love prediction states it's not time to make any big hasty decisions, as you need a little bit more time in order for your judgment to not be clouded. Next, we've got the fig. Now, the fig shows me that nevertheless, there's a lot of vitality within your love life. There's a lot going on. There are definitely some fun situations taking place for you during the month of July. And the peppermint shows me that this will be a successful month. So if you are single, know that July will feel successful when it comes to your love life. Maybe you'll meet an interesting person who you can get to know, or you will successfully continue to feel more comfortable being single. If you are in a situationship, finding out exactly where the relationship is meant to go, that is a success. If you are in a committed relationship, know that success to you should look like where you feel there is balance. Okay, so July is all about finding your power and staying true to it, being in your power and doing so in a really balanced way. If necessary, use some sacred objects that you can charge with the power that you seek. So if you're someone who's a bit more of an introvert and you feel as though extroverted energy could help you, know that July can be a smashing success if you charge up those objects with the power and potency of the energy of being outgoing, right? Of just being a bit more of an extrovert, putting yourself out there more. Group number 2. And these are all ways in which you can help yourself and create a successful month during July. It's really all in your hands, group number 2. That is the main vibe that I'm getting from your reading. Next, we've got the violet. So amidst a lot of vitality, there are oh so many moments of tranquility. So July is pretty balanced, and as a month as a whole, it's showing you what type of energy and vibe you should go for, romantically speaking. So have you ever experienced a day with a friend that was just perfect? It was so fun, and you felt as though if you were ever in a relationship, you'd want it to sort of feel like this. You'd want it to be just as fun, just as carefree and chill and open. That's what I mean here with many moments in July that show you how the relationship really should be, that set an example. I can see here within the Bay that July is also a month that brings you wisdom and growth internally. So you're maturing when it comes to love. You're learning to be wise rather than impulsive, and also that all of your energy, okay, that your impulsivity, it can be seen as a superpower. It can be seen as something that serves you, but you need to use it in the right way, group number 2, to wait for the right moment and to not make hasty decisions that may have consequences that last for a really long time. Next up, we've got Gabo. So within Gabo, I can see here that there is this gift of love, generosity, marriage, a partnership. So July is looking like a really great month for you, romantically speaking, group number 2, whether you're single in a situationship or a relationship. I can see that someone does want to commit to you and that there's a lot of love present during the month of July. And there's a lot of reason to celebrate. So maybe you're even invited to a anniversary party, to a wedding, or someone's engagement party. That's what I see here within Gabo. I see within Tiwaz that we've got leadership and also honor that's important for you, making sure that you keep your head held high and that you remain in a state where you feel like you're presenting yourself in a respectable manner. Tiwaz shows me that that is really important for your love life, to never feel as though you are compromising your integrity or your morals, because that just completely destructs things for you. There is no coming back from that. I see within the 8 of Cups, leaving behind relationships that lack vitality, that lack the sense of feeling like there is a long-term commitment and a sense of stability for you in July. So you're not going to be afraid to turn your back on anything that seems as though it is a waste of time or doesn't have any long-term effects that you feel you're going to be able to enjoy. And with long-term effects, I mean relationships that are meant to last for a long time. I see within the 4 of Cups that any lack of commitment, you'd rather be alone than be with someone who's playing you, or be with someone who is selling you a dream that they never intend on delivering. And the 4 of Cups shows me here that if you need to, you'll be strong enough to walk away from anyone, no matter how good looking they are, no matter how big of a dream they're selling you. You're going to leave the situation, as we see here within the 8 of Cups. And rather than being in that type of situation, you're focused on celebrating healthy relationships, even if it's not always your own, group number 2, because you're the type of person who is happy and willing to celebrate other people's success in love. And I can see here that rather than forcing it, the best thing for you is to just take a step back rather than making a hasty decision. Even if you feel like your mind is already made up, just give July a little bit of time to play out before you do anything that you may regret later on. Now, group number 2, this is your July love life reading that I've received for you. I hope that you found it insightful and that it was fun as well as entertaining. Leave a little flame emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it all the way to the end. Make sure that you stay on the lookout for the new deck that I'm dropping. I know that you're going to absolutely love this deck, and I can't wait to show it to you. If you're watching this at a later point in time, it might already be available on bowlife.com, which is my site. It's linked below. This is a project I've been working on for over 2 years, and I'm so proud for it to finally come to fruition. So group 2, thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, group number 3, Vanessa and I here. Welcome to your July 2022 love prediction. You chose the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle deck as well as the Amber in order to guide you through what's happening in your love life during the month of July. Let's first do a close-up of this piece of fossilized tree resin. Yes, the Amber is not a traditional stone or mineral. It is actually a piece of fossilized tree resin, and the Amber is also really rare and a beautiful stone that helps protect you from unwanted energies. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what's coming towards your love life during the month of July. That's what we're here for, right? So whether you're single, in a situationship, or in a committed relationship, I assure you this reading will bring you lots of clarity as well as insight. First up, we've got the Tangerine Quartz. I can see here that this connects to your solar plexus chakra, and I want you to know here within the tangerine quartz that there is this little rebirth that's taking place during the month of July for you, where it feels like you've got this fresh start in your love life, and you can shed any type of old skin that you've been bringing with you all this time. Now, that may cause a little bit of friction with some existing partnerships if there is a situationship or a relationship that's in the picture, but there's no reason why you can't overcome that and why you can't readjust to the new version of who you are. But if you are single, then of course this does not pose any type of friction because it's just you, and you're able to use this newfound energy and this newfound version of you, the glow up version of you, to move into dating and finding someone who appreciates you for who you are, group number 3. Next up, we've got the moss agate. So in the moss agate, I can see that your intention is the most important part of what you're doing in love during the month of July. So definitely check in with your heart chakra, figure out why you want what you want romantically speaking. So if you're single and you really want to be in a relationship, why is that? Is that because you don't want to be lonely, or because you'd like to start a family, or because you'd like a partner in crime to just do things with? That is a really important thing for you to reconsider, and maybe even a great journal prompt for you to look into, because sometimes we don't realize the reason behind us wanting a relationship or wanting to be single. So if you are in a situationship or a relationship and you're not sure why you're feeling the way you're feeling, don't immediately kind of feel as though it's because you are unhappy with your partner, because you are in fact single, that you're going through a difficult time. Try to go inwards and figure out how actually sometimes difficult emotions have less to do with your relationship status or the person you're with, and sometimes more to do with what you're going through. But it's always kind of easy to point the finger or the blame at other people. Now, group number 3, you can tell I'm a really honest tarot reader, and if you appreciate that, make sure that you leave a little honeybee emoji below, because I will tell you when it's important for you to steer clear of toxic relationships, but I will also, of course, tell you when I see potential to look inward and to ensure that you are happy based on your own accomplishments and how you feel about yourself, and that you're not mixing that up with feeling unhappy about another human being. So I hope that you can appreciate my honesty, and that I'll always tell you everything like it is. Next up, we've got the hematite. So the hematite shows me here that July is going to be a very important month romantically speaking, as you will find that with pure intent and you being so connected and in a state of glowing up, this will actually lead to a fabulous culmination for your love life, where if all goes well, July is going to feel like one of the most prosperous months of love for you during the year of 2022. As I see within the pink amethyst, we've got divine love here for you. Your soul star chakra is being activated and touched, and I want you to know here that this divine love card shows that love is really meant to be fairy tale like for you. Love is really meant to feel as though you are on cloud 9, not just for the honeymoon phase, but for a prolonged amount of time, group number 3. And it is possible when you're meant to be in a relationship, you will find that the relationship always feels good. There is always at least a certain level of passion there. Of course, it is different at the very start when you're getting to know one another, but I can see here that you're meant to be in a relationship that has longevity and passion that lasts for a lifetime. The pink amethyst is also a crystal that represents intuitively knowing when things are right. So if you are single and you meet someone and it doesn't feel right from the start, know that they may be good to be in a situationship with, but they're most likely not the one. And if you are in a committed relationship and you've constantly had this hunch of something being wrong or not knowing whether this is the relationship for you, first, of course, turn your intention inwards and towards what you're going through to figure out whether you're letting out any type of emotional baggage on your person. And if you're in the clear and you know that you can say with a clear conscience that no, it's not anything you're going through, it really is something in the relationship that isn't working out, then definitely consider whether the relationship has run its course and whether it's time to move on. So there is a lot of room for revelation and change for you during the month of July. And at the end of the day, group number 3, you will find that the outcome will be in your favor. Next up, we've got Knot of Isis. I can see here that there's an energetic stabilization with the buckle of the beloved taking place for you during the month of July, which kind of means that any relationship that is meant to manifest and be there is going to continue to solidify, and the love is going to continue to cultivate and grow. So if you are single, know here that July is a great month for you to find a divine lover, someone with whom you immediately know that the chemistry is right. If you're in a situationship with someone who you're meant to be with, you will find that that relationship finds solidification and it turns from a situationship into a relationship. And if you are in a committed relationship, group number 3, know here that you are meant to get even closer to your partner if they are the right one. And of course, if you are being called to consider whether the relationship has run its course, then you will find that you grow apart profusively during the month of July. And that is like a sign that maybe it's time for you to move on and find happiness with another person, or maybe for the time being with yourself. The ancient power mysteries shows me here that it is important for you to keep in mind that you're never alone, and that you can awaken a side of yourself that is not only intuitive, but in a sense also pretty wild and able to move from being in a relationship to being single without feeling like it's detrimental, or being single to entering a relationship just because it feels right without overthinking it. That is the type of potential that I see here for you during the month of July. It's going to be a wild month, a fun month, a month filled with love that's not going to disappoint, group number 3. I see within the courageous peony that you're a very multifaceted person with a unique nature, and you need a love life that reflects that. And you need people who allow for you to be seen, allow for you to be yourself, whether that be wearing eccentric outfits, cracking jokes that other people may find offensive, or just simply being able to express yourself physically by dancing, moving your body. I see here within the courageous peony that this multifaceted nature of who you are needs to first and foremost be able to breathe and thrive. And I see here in July that you will see with whom you're able to do that and be yourself, and those are the types of relationships to invest more time and energy into. And whoever makes you feel strange for simply being yourself, that relationship has run its course. The messenger shows me here that you are being brought some harmony and balance. This is a serious energy that brings you this type of immediate message and knowledge as to whether a relationship is worth your time, energy, and effort. We spoke about some of the characteristics. If you can be yourself and you feel as though you're supported, then continue on with the relationships. Whether you're single, in a situationship, or a committed relationship, any type of connection with another human being that allows you to fully embrace also the new version of who you are, the glow up version of you, that is worth keeping. The rest is worth walking away from. Next up, we've got the portal. Now, group number 3, in the portal, I see new doors that are opening. You decide. So this is like a wild card. It shows us here that something unexpected is going to happen. It's going to feel like a portal into a new dimension, romantically speaking, into a new world. So if you've never been in a relationship, entering a relationship is a completely new world for you. If you haven't been single in decades or in a really long time, of course, entering back into singlehood would be a complete new portal into something new. Adding another member into your family, for example, a child or a pet, that is a portal into a completely new dynamic of a relationship and a life that you haven't known. down. So profound change is here for the month of July when it comes to your love life, group number 3, and I hope that you're ready for it. I see within the deep cellular healing that we've got physical and emotional healing that can take place through these changes. So rather than just staying still and meditating in one spot, in one place, and not experiencing much, I can see that physical and emotional healing happens for you when there's actually some action going on, and when you feel as though you can reflect based on real life comparisons and events that are taking place. So when you can, for example, compare how a relationship with one person feels compared to a relationship with another, that gives you way more of a moment of enlightenment and an epiphany than just sitting at home in your room, in your space, and thinking to yourself whether a relationship is right or wrong. You need something to compare it off of, and you need some sort of movement for healing to take place, which is available to you within the month of July, as I also see here within Rido, which is a card of traveling, of movement, of not feeling like you have to commit to a one place. And I see here within Rido that your love life is meant to entail travel. So if you are in the right relationship, know that you will take a little mini vacation. You will go on a little mini trip during the month of July, or at least plan a trip that's in the future with this person. Uruz corresponds to the ox when it comes to runes, and I want you to know here in Uruz that we've got strength, courage, and power. You're not afraid of anything. You're not afraid of any situation. You know that at the end of the day, other people have been able to overcome being single and unhappy, being in a relationship and unhappy, being in a situationship that is uncomfortable. So you know that if other people can overcome that and be happy again, so can you, no matter what you're going through or no matter what the uncertainties may feel like at times. I see here within Kanaz that we've got a card of revelation, of creativity and inspiration, and walking with another person. So whether this is a lover, someone who you're in a romantic relationship with that is a long-term one, or a great friend with whom you're going towards the light, I see this big sense of just knowing what needs to come next within your love life for you during the month of July, and not overthinking whether you're moving in the right direction. I just see this culmination, the sense of certainty by the end of July for you, group number 3, of just knowing exactly where you're going and what you're doing, and choosing love that honors the new you, that honors the glow up version of who you are, so to say. Next up, we've got the Ace of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords corresponds to fortitude, but also mental force and great new ideas that are coming your way. So if you are in a committed relationship, know that you'll have this epiphany of how to make your relationship better, how to strengthen it. If you are single, the ace being the number 1 shows me that you're not afraid to take the lead and do things by yourself. You don't need to wait for a partner in order to travel, for example, or in order to start your own business or anything like that. I see here within the 9 of diamonds that when it comes to the earthly realms, self-discipline is required of you, and I can see here that you're also very self-reliant. You are not meant to depend on anyone for financial safety. You're not meant to depend on anyone in the earthly realms with your career either. So I see here in the 9 of diamonds that that's going to continue on throughout the month of July. None of that is going to change. And within the 5 of swords, I can also see here that there are some people who are a little bit jealous when it comes to that. The 5 of swords shows me here that there is some sort of discord. There is someone who, out of self-interest, wishes that you were a little bit more codependent. So think of, for example, a family member or a parent who wishes that you were a little bit more codependent, or that you needed a little bit more from them than you really do. It could even be a toxic partner if you're in a relationship or situationship who wishes that you needed them more and weren't so courageous and strong. So watch out for that. Next up, we've got the King of Cups reversed. So this gives us an indication as to who this person is. The King of Cups is the king of water. That may be a Cancerian, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. That is the type of energy that we have being exuded from them. They're a pretty mysterious type of person. They can get emotional. They are a sensitive soul, but they can also be a little bit controlling, and they definitely want to know that they are the only one in your life. So a type of possessiveness is what I see here, that someone is trying to bring over you, but it's not phasing you. I see that in the Five of Swords and the King of Cups reversed, as the Nine of Diamonds shows me here that you're staying strong in what you desire, what you know you're capable of, and also the fact that you know you don't need anyone in order to feel safe or secure financially. Next up, in the Eight of Crystals, I actually see a lot of forward movement for you. The Eight of Crystals shows us here that when it comes to just having fun, quick action, as well as taking in news and processing it, you don't need another person, okay, to figure out what business deal to partake in next. You don't need another person to tell you what step to take in life next. You are completely self-sufficient, and again, not everybody likes that, and there will be some jealousy around that around you during the month of July. The Four of Swords, group number 3, shows me here that rest is necessary. You need a little bit of time for quiet preparation. I can see that when it comes to your romantic relationships, you're not taking as much time for yourself as you really should, group number 3. So if you are in a relationship, take a little bit of time to yourself, have some complete alone time without your partner. And if you are single, bear in mind here within the Four of Swords that if you're spending a lot of time working or with friends or family, that again doesn't leave a lot of time for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are spending too much time with a partner. The Four of Swords just means you are not spending as much time with yourself and on yourself and your own hobbies and interests as you probably should, okay? So it's really important here within the Four of Swords to not lose track of your own personal development, especially as you're going through a glow up, if you will, a type of culmination that's taking place during the month of July in your love life. You want to be fully aware and present so that these things don't become super overwhelming. So group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know below in the comments section. Furthermore, stay tuned for the deck that I'm launching soon. If you're watching this at a later time, it may already be on bowlife.com, so feel free to check that out, because I will be launching this brand new deck not long thereafter me publishing this video. So watch the space, as you will see it in one of my upcoming videos. Group 3, thank you for being here. Make sure that you take care of yourself and stay safe, and I'll speak to you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your July 2022 love predictions. Now, you chose the Affirmations tarot deck as well as the Amethyst crystal. Allow for me to show you a close-up of this stone so you can get acquainted with its energy and vibration, yes, through the screen. This is the absolutely gorgeous Amethyst crystal. This is a stone that looks good in every home. It just has this mysterious vibe to it, and it is said to bring out your intuition as well as your psychic abilities. So if you're looking to increase that, make sure you add amethyst to your home or to your crystal jewelry collection. And now let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what is coming towards your love life during the month of July, shall we? Group number 4, we've got the King of Wands reversed as well as the Nine of Swords reversed. Let's see what else we have going on. The World. Wow. Okay. So the Nine of Swords reversed and the World. Let's talk about that first. The World is actually one of the most favorable cards in the tarot. So congratulations, group number 4. The World card not only represents happiness as well as a culmination and just overall feeling accomplished and fulfilled, but it also corresponds to Saturn. And Saturn is the planet that speaks of discipline, commitment, and overcoming challenges. It is also the planet that by default rules Capricorn. And now Capricorn being ruled by Saturn is a very ambitious and responsible sign that is efficient, disciplined, as well as economical. So these are all great vibes for your love life during the month of July. And I see here in the Nine of Swords, which is usually a pretty difficult card. This card is usually all about feeling worried or guilty and having some sort of anguish, that actually the anguish that you may have had is pretty much erased here by the World card, as a lot of things are going your way in your love life during the month of July. So this is an amazing foreshadowing for you, group number 4. The King of Wands reversed shows me here that there's definitely someone that is meant to come into your love life who has fire sign energy. Now this fire sign energy may entail someone who is an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. They're a very passionate and enthusiastic type of person. They're creative as well as forceful, charismatic, and bold. But I see here in the King of Wands being here reversed that the universe is kind of holding off a little bit on presenting you with this person during the month of July, as there is just already a lot of fulfillment and culmination going on within your life. You're maybe not even open to meeting this person, or energetically not in the place where you're ready to have this person be part of your life yet. Next up, we've got the Seven of Wands. So now the Seven of Wands shows me self-preservation, especially when it comes to love. So maybe you've been through some difficult situations, romantically speaking, group number 4, where people have played you, ghosted you, maybe made you feel as though you weren't important. So the Seven of Wands shows me that you're actually kind of pushing away any love bombing, because you immediately know that that is the trait that narcissists usually display. They love bomb you and do a little too much at the beginning of relationships. And the Seven of Wands shows me here that you absolutely do not want to be in a situation like that anymore. You're pushing that away, and you're very protective over the fulfillment that we've got here within the World card, which rightfully so, group number 4. Don't allow for anyone to interfere or take away from your happiness. Now, if you are in a committed relationship and your partner can be unsupportive, I can see that this is the type of friction you're pushing away. You're not even including them in any type of parties and any type of celebrations, and you're going to friends and family who you know have the emotional capacity and availability to celebrate with you. However, if you are single, you're also kind of not inviting a new relationship in during the month of July, as you've just come out of a period of worry, as we spoke about here in the Nine of Swords, and you want to enjoy this. You want to enjoy your accomplishments before the King of Wands is able to enter your life, which is most likely a really great fit for you, but it's just not the right time during the month of July. Next up, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. There is a little bit of flirting going on here with the Knight of Pentacles, which is an earth sign. So think Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. Those are the 3 earth signs of the zodiac, and the Knight of Pentacles shows me that this is someone who has pretty young energy. They're most likely not a lot older than you. They're most likely a little bit less mature than you. And the Knight of Pentacles shows me that they've got some big dreams and aspirations. So they are the type of person who definitely has their life planned out in a very grand way, and they have goals that they're going after, and they're not letting anyone come in between. And this is not necessarily a serious relationship. This is just flirting. So if you're single, there may be some flirting, some kissing, a little bit of physical touch, not all that much, as they're not making that big of an impact on your life. And if you are in a committed relationship, this is just some harmless flirtation that's coming your way that you may not even engage in, but nevertheless, this person is being very flirty towards you. I see here within the Lime that the month of July is a month that is filled with luck for you, not only when it comes to love, but also other areas of your life. Group number 4, we spoke about how your life is just in a great place in July to begin with. So it is no surprise that luck is on your side during this fabulous month for you. The time shows me that this is actually giving you a lot more courage than you maybe usually have. So you're unafraid to make some risky moves. Well, take some calculated risks, okay? Not risks just for the sake of taking risks, group number 4. That's not what I mean, but you are more in the mood to take calculated risks, and also to keep in mind that just as much as something may go wrong, something may also go right. if there was never anyone who thought to themselves, oh, let me try to open a business, for example, because the statistics show that a lot of businesses fail, well, then you could also never get it right. You've got that duality here. The lime corresponds to the number 31 and the time corresponds to the number 13. So we just have kind of a mirrored version of these numbers here, which shows again the duality that you're dealing with during the month of July, which is really interesting to have these numbers show up in concession for you. Group number 4. We have a card that clearly wants to speak. So bear in mind that the numbers 1 as well as 3 are important numbers for you. Next up, we've got the Kent pumpkin, which corresponds to the number 8. So we're on to a completely different area of your love life during the month of July, as the Kent pumpkin is a symbol of productivity. And the number 8 is a number of longevity. It is a number of abundance. We have the sign of Cancerian here. And in case you didn't know, Cancers are ruled by the moon. They're sensitive, pretty receptive, they're home and family oriented and quite emotional. So I do see here that the only thing that may interfere with your productivity is of course getting emotional over your love life, but emotional in a good way. Group number 4, I can see potential happy tears for you, feeling as though your love life has everything that you could have ever dreamed of, and you just feel like you're on a whole nother level when it comes to productivity that you maybe couldn't have reached if your love life wasn't going so enormously well, and you're just enjoying this. Group number 4. Next up, we've got the red jasper for you from the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle deck. Now, the red jasper shows me here that you have this conviction, you have this ambition, and you need for a partner to support you. There's no other way to do it. So if you are single, you are not looking to mingle, you are not looking for a relationship because you don't want to deal with anybody potentially getting in between you and the things that you really want to accomplish. And if you are in a relationship and you don't feel the love and support from your partner to the extent that you know you deserve, again, you're kind of steering clear of them. You're not spending very much time with them because it's just not helping you in other areas of your life. And you're focused on yourself, group number 4, which is really awesome to see because you can't always put your dreams and your wants and needs to the side for another person. That's not healthy. That will only create resentment. Next up, we've got the citrine. So in the citrine, I can see an immense sense of clarity for you. And I can see that it's so clear to you what you want. And if someone doesn't support you on this journey, well, then it's also clear that you're going to avoid them. You're not necessarily going to break up with an unsupportive partner during the month of July. You're not quite ready for that. But with the citrine, which corresponds here to the sun, and the sun stands for leadership, willpower, and creativity, you know clearly what you want, you're going after it, and you're not going to allow for someone else to come in between any of the things that you desire. The sun is also symbolic of purpose, identity, and the ego. So beware, group number 4, that you don't allow for your ego to take hold of you in a sense and make you feel as though you should do everything by yourself and allow you to become egotistical, because you also run risk of that when there is too much of this sun energy, too much of this King of Wands energy, which is fiery but can also be very self-centered. Next up, we've got the Chariot. So the Chariot corresponds to the number 7, and the Chariot is also a card of the major arcana within the tarot that corresponds to the sign of Cancer, which is a protector. We already briefly spoke about Cancer as we were talking about the Kent pumpkin. So do know here within the Chariot that while you're moving forward, while you're going after the things that you desire, and there is victory here, you also need to make sure that you are kind to yourself, as the Chariot is often also symbolic of being really hard on yourself, and hard control being a part of your life. Now, if you are single, make sure that you take some time to just chill, maybe go to a spa, hang out with a friend or a family member who you know will help make you feel better And if you are in a relationship, know here within the Chariot that it's important for you to involve your partner in what you're going through. Talk to them about what you need emotionally and physically, and ensure that you mark it in the calendar and make it happen. Now, the Seven of Swords shows me here that there are a lot of thoughts going on about your romantic life, and you're keeping a lot of things to yourself during the month of July, and that's maybe because you don't feel like opening up, maybe because you feel as though you're alone in this. But I see some worry, I see a little bit of agony, a little bit of not knowing what to think and what to feel, group number 4. Now let's move further into your reading with the Gentle Heart Tarot deck that we've been using. We've got the King of Swords for you. Now, within the King of Swords, I can see that taking the lead is another really important part when it comes to your ideas. Now, the King of Swords could represent someone who is an intellectual, who is someone who is very smart, okay, someone who has a degree that not many people accomplish, and they are bringing you a lot of clarity as they're giving you ideas of what you want to do romantically speaking. But the King of Swords could also be a representation of what's coming for you during the month of July romantically speaking from you, group number 4. So the type of person you're going to be. You're going to be very smart, you're going to be very rational, and maybe part of the emotionality is missing when you're making difficult decisions because you're just so focused on the bottom line. You're focused on, well, does this relationship serve me or not? Does this relationship contribute financially or not? And sometimes you can miss the nuances and some of the immeasurable value that people bring to your life when you do that. So be aware of that, but don't feel as though this means that you're definitely going to do that. You just have a very direct and a little bit of a cutthroat approach for the month of July, if you will, group number 4. But some of us need that, especially if we are empaths and if we always give people a lot of chances. Now, the Hanged Man shows me here that where there is forward movement, there is also some sort of feeling of stagnation, okay? So if you have ever learned to drive a car that is not an automatic car, group number 4, a manual car, and you know when you first get in the car and you step on the gas and then you immediately like let go, and it's kind of like stop and go situation until you really learn how to get the car into gear and things like that. When you're first learning to drive a car that is a manual car, that's what I see here with the Chariot and the Hanged Man. That kind of vibe for the month of July. We've got some stop and go action for you. We've got a little bit of a bumpy ride. While it is a positive one, while it is a good one that we have represented here within the world, nevertheless, it is going to be a little bit bumpy. It is going to be a little bit of a roller coaster, and I just want you to be prepared for that. I just want you to know within the Hanged Man that sometimes when the ride is a little bumpy, you have to ask yourself if it's worth, for example, letting go of people who have been holding you back or who constantly interfere with your love life and what's happening for you in that area of your existence. Next, within Somuayina, which corresponds to a rune, in case you didn't know, we've got the sun being represented, which we already spoke about within the citrine, which corresponds to the sun, but also strength, energy, health, and success. So Willow is a card that is highly positive, which corresponds beautifully to the citrine and the world. And furthermore, I also want you to know that the citrine is a stone that attracts abundance. So having that show up with your reading is a really positive foreshadowing for your love life for the month of July. Whereas Dagaz shows me here that the biggest breakthroughs are going to come during the day, so you're not necessarily a night owl. I see that that's shifting in July, especially if you've been a night owl. Know that the best dates and the best things that happen, romantically speaking, happen during daylight, during dawn, and during a time where you can clearly see, right? We spoke about clarity within the citrine too. Then we've got Hagelas, which corresponds to storms and so on, and Awaz, which tells us all about the self-reflection that you're going through. So The month of July is going to come with some things that you would have rather left in the past or rather not looked at. I can see that here within Awaz as well as Hagalaz. Awaz being a card of self-reflection and Hagalaz showing us here that you're not necessarily just going to be 100% happy with your self-reflection process. Don't be so hard on yourself. We spoke about that group number 4, that you tend to be very hard on yourself, especially July is a month during which you want to ensure that you're not doing that, as it may just make you feel like you're behind, like you're not up to par, like other people are way ahead of you and you're slacking. And that is not the case, group number 4. And it's important for you to use self-reflection, or quite literally your reflection and looking in the mirror, to hype yourself up and to remind yourself that you have many traits and many aspects of you internally and externally that are beautiful, that are so worthy of loving, and that it's time for you to embrace those. No matter who's in the room, who may look at you and think, wow, that person is really feeling themselves, let them think that, group number 4. After all, you've only got one life to live. You might as well live your best life. Now, group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Make sure that you leave a little sun emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that this is the group that you chose and that you made it all the way to the end. Furthermore, keep your eyes peeled, group number 4, on bolife.com. If you're watching this video at a later point in time, I may have already published my 3rd deck because it's coming really soon, so pay attention to the space, especially if you're looking to add a beautiful, one-of-a-kind deck to your collection that's really easy to use. I can't wait to introduce you to the new deck that I created. It's been over 2 years in the making, group number 4, so make sure that you tune into my upcoming videos to be the first to see it. Now, group 4, thank you for being here. I wish you nothing but the best moving forward, whether it is daytime or nighttime at the time of you coming to the end of your reading. Take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you during one of my upcoming predictions.